Yo, Nell.
Yes.
Would you mind getting us some more coffee while you're in there?
Okay.
Nell?
Yes.
With cream, okay?
Okay.
Nell?
Yes.
Could I have a refill on milk, please?
Of course, precious. Nell, get off my back.
Remember when Gimme a Break could make you laugh one minute and hit you right in the feelings the next? It starred Nell Carter as Nell Harper, the housekeeper and maternal figure for the Kiniski family, consisting of widowed Chief Carl Kiniski, played by Dolph Sweet, and his 3 daughters. Gimme a Break ran for 6 seasons and 137 episodes from 1981 to 1987, launching Joey Lawrence into stardom and giving Whitney Houston one of her first TV appearances. But behind the laughs, the show faced real challenges: on-set tension, personal battles, and a massive creative overhaul in its final season that basically turned it into a different show. Today, we're counting down 15 weird and wonderful facts about Gimme a Break, the sitcom that made us laugh, cry, and sing along. Now, before we jump in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with other retro TV fans who still remember those Glen Lawn days. And stick around for number 1, because the way this show ended might be one of the most abrupt and frustrating finales in sitcom history. Now, let's get into the countdown with number 15, the show that turned into a 1980s variety hour. One of the best parts of Gimme a Break, especially if you were a music fan, was how often it let Nell Carter do what she did best: sing the house down. This wasn't your average laugh track sitcom. Gimme a Break frequently became an unexpected showcase for Nell's powerhouse voice, and somehow the Kiniski living room turned into Showtime at the Apollo. Over 6 seasons, the show drew some of the biggest musical names of the decade. Whitney Houston made one of her earliest TV appearances as Rita, a friend of Katie's in the season 3 episode Katie's College. This was the year before How Will I Know turned her into the biggest voice on the planet. Then there was Sammy Davis Jr., the ultimate showman, who guest starred in season 4's The Look-alike in a dual role as himself and an impersonator.
You may be king, you may possess the world and all of its gold.
Gold won't bring you happiness when you're feeling old.
And it didn't stop there. Remember when the Pointer Sisters brought their signature energy to Glen Lawn?
Someday we'll be together.
Even Andy Gibb showed up to croon alongside Nell.
Love lifts us up where we belong, where the eagles fly.
Most sitcoms of the era stuck to their 3-camera setup and called it a day. But Gimme a Break gave us actual show-stopping musical moments that felt like someone greenlit a variety special in the middle of primetime. It was part comedy, part concert, and when Nell Carter grabbed the mic, you knew you were in for something special. Number 14, Broadway royalty on the small screen. Now, before she was running the Kiniski household with equal parts sass and soul, Nell Carter was already Broadway royalty. She made her Broadway debut in 1971, but it was her performance in the Fats Waller review, Ain't Misbehavin', that turned her into a star. She won the 1978 Tony Award for Best Featured Actress in a Musical, and 4 years later, she won an Emmy for the same role when the production was televised in 1982. Tony and Emmy for the same performance? That's the kind of double win most performers only dream about.
Every honeybee feels sweet jealousy when they see you out with me. I don't blame them, goodness now.
The same year that she won that Tony, Nell was cast as Effie White in the new Broadway musical Dreamgirls. But she left the production during development to take a television role on Ryan's Hope. When Dreamgirls premiered in late 1981, Jennifer Holliday had taken over the lead role and made it legendary. On stage, Nell was electric. Her voice could fill every corner of the theater, and she commanded attention the second she stepped out there. Every song was a mix of power, humor, and heartbreak. The woman knew how to own the stage. So when NBC cast her as Nell Harper in Gimme a Break in 1981, it was like watching a Broadway powerhouse walk straight into your living room every single week. She brought that same presence, same timing, and that same larger-than-life energy from the theater to primetime TV. That's what made her so magnetic. Whether she was cracking jokes, laying down the law, or belting out a gospel tune, Nell Carter brought genuine star power to network television. That Broadway background was exactly what set Gimme a Break apart from every other 80s sitcom. Number 13, Dolph Sweet. From POW to Professor to Chief Kiniski. Now, before he became Chief Carl Kiniski on Gimme a Break, Dolph Sweet had already lived about 3 different lives. Born Adolphus Gene Sweet in New York City in 1920, Dolph was studying at the University of Alabama when World War II interrupted everything. He became a navigator in the U.S. Army Air Force, flying B-24 Liberator bombers with the 44th Bombardment Group. During Operation Tidal Wave, his plane got shot down over Romania. Dolph spent 2 years as a prisoner of war. To keep their spirits up, he and other POWs put on short plays. Nobody knew it at the time, but those makeshift performances were planting the seeds for his future career. After the war, Dolph came home and did what any normal person would do.
Oh, you're home.
You figured that out, huh?
He played semi-pro football, he boxed for a while, and then earned a master's degree in English and comparative drama from Columbia University. You know, the usual post-war routine. He spent over a decade teaching at Barnard College and eventually ran the drama department, so he was shaping actors long before he even became one himself. Dolph didn't make his Broadway debut until his 40s, appearing in Rhinoceros alongside Zero Mostel in 1961. From there, he built an impressive second act, more than 50 stage productions and close to 60 film and TV roles. He showed up in The Lords of Flatbush, Heaven Can Wait, The Out-of-Towners, The Bad News Bears in Breaking Training, and even Reds. On TV, he had steady work in Another World,
Don't think about it anymore.
That was an ugly shock for both of us.
The Edge of Night, and Hill Street Blues. By the late 70s, casting directors knew exactly who to call when they needed a tough but heartfelt authority figure, which made him perfect for Chief Kiniski.
You don't understand anything.
I understand that my daughter's a thief. What would your mother say?
Well, she can't say anything. She's dead.
When Gimme a Break premiered in 1981, Dolph brought all of it with him: the discipline of a soldier, the intellect of a professor, and the lived experience of someone who'd truly been through it. His chemistry with Nell Carter worked because they balanced each other perfectly. She was all warmth and instinct, and he was structure and heart. He was a father figure, both on and off the screen. Number 12, Telma Hopkins, from Shut Yo' Mouth to Nell's best friend. Now, before she was trading zingers with Nell Harper in the Kiniski living room, Telma Hopkins was already a music legend. She had one of the most recognizable voices of the 1970s, even if you didn't know it was her. Telma started out in Detroit as a background session singer working with Motown royalty. You know, Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, the Four Tops, basically everyone who ever walked out of that studio with a gold record, and in 1971, she laid down one of the most iconic ad-libs in movie soundtrack history. That line in Isaac Hayes' Oscar-winning theme from Shaft.
You see, this cat Shaft is a bad mother.
Shut your mouth.
What I'm talking about, Shaft?
But Telma's biggest success came in 1970 when she teamed up with Joyce Vincent Wilson and Tony Orlando to form Tony Orlando and Dawn. The trio became one of the biggest pop acts of the decade, with hits like Candida, Knock 3 Times, and Tie a Yellow Ribbon Round the Old Oak Tree.
I'll stay on the bus, forget about us, put the blame on me.
Those songs dominated the charts and eventually landed them their own CBS variety show, Tony Orlando and Dawn, which ran from 1974 to 1976. So, by the time Telma joined Gimme a Break in 1983 as Nell's outspoken best friend Addie Wilson, she wasn't just another sitcom sidekick. She was a seasoned performer with hit records, TV experience, and enough charisma to hold her own next to Nell Carter. Number 11, The Golden Girls Connection, Rue McClanahan's double role. Now, before she became Blanche Devereaux on The Golden Girls, Rue McClanahan made not one, but 2 guest appearances on Gimme a Break. And both times, she got special treatment. She was listed in the opening credits alongside the regular cast, something rarely done for guest stars.
Give me a break, for heaven's sake. What happened to my piece of the cake?
Her first appearance was in Season 1's The Second Time Around in 1981. Rue played Marion, a former high school classmate of Chief Carl Kiniski, who literally bumps back into his life by rear-ending his squad car.
So, tell me, whatever happened to you after high school? Did you ever marry that, Margaret Hoffman or Huffman?
Yeah, I did.
The chemistry was there, and before long, the Chief and Marion were dating. His daughter Samantha was not thrilled about the prospect of a new stepmom. Then, in Season 4's Grandpa's Secret Life in 1984, Rue came back as Katrina, the daughter of a wealthy tycoon who tries to force her to marry Grandpa Stanley over a tryst they had 60 years prior on a ship to America.
America has been very good to me. And I might add that I have been very good to America. My taxes alone.
Katrina doesn't want to marry him, but she's too afraid to stand up to her controlling father until Nell steps in and encourages her to say no. Around the same time, she was playing Aunt Fran as a regular on Mama's Family, and in 1985, she landed the role of Blanche Devereaux on The Golden Girls, the part that made her a television icon. Before Rue became golden in Miami, she made her mark in Glenlawn, twice. Number 10, the little-known connection to Punky Brewster. Here's a connection that most fans don't know about. Gimme a Break accidentally helped launch another classic 80s hit in Punky Brewster. In April of 1983, the show aired Season 2, Episode 21, called Nell and the Kid. While it may have looked like just another episode in Glenlawn, you'd be wrong. Behind the scenes, it was actually a backdoor pilot, a test run for a potential spinoff starring Don Rickles as a grumpy deli owner who takes in a homeless girl caught shoplifting.
Hey.
Why? What's the matter?
What's the matter? This kid is stealing me blind.
What are you talking about? I didn't take anything.
You didn't, huh? What is this?
Nell and the Kiniskis were basically side characters, with Nell just popping in long enough to encourage Rickles to give the kid a chance. The rest of the episode was testing out a completely different show. NBC passed on it, but somebody over there was definitely paying attention because just 1 year later, a brand new series hit the airwaves with a strikingly similar premise. A spirited little girl taken in by a crusty old man who reluctantly becomes her guardian.
I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Punky.
I made out my will. I left everything to you and Brand.
That show was Punky Brewster, starring Soleil Moon Frye as one of the most beloved child actors of the decade.
I know house cleaning's hard work, but if we're gonna stay with Henry until my mom comes back, we're gonna have to earn our keep. Okay?
Created by Gimme a Break alum David W. Duclon, Punky Brewster took the same emotional setup, a lonely child finding family with an unlikely parental figure, and ran with it. Swap the deli for an apartment building, move from California to Chicago, and you've got a hit.
Who are you?
I'm Punky Brewster. And who are you?
I'm the manager of this building, Henry Waniment.
So, while Gimme a Break never officially spun off a new series, it did give us the blueprint for one of the decade's most memorable shows. Number 9, Joey Lawrence's wild off-screen tour life. For a lot of Gen Xers, Gimme a Break is where we first met Joey Lawrence. He joined the show in Season 3 playing Joey Donovan.
Oh, hello down there.
Hi.
What can I do for you?
I'm collecting for Jerry's kids.
The foster kid Nell takes under her wing, and the audience loved him immediately. This was one of Joey's very first major TV roles, years before his famous "Whoa" catchphrase on Blossom made him a 90s icon. But here's what most people don't know. Joey had a whole other life when the cameras weren't rolling. During hiatus from filming Gimme a Break, the kid actually went on tour with Nell Carter and legendary Rat Pack entertainer Sammy Davis Jr. Yeah, that really happened. Picture it, a preteen sitcom actor fresh off the NBC backlot sharing the stage with two powerhouse performers who'd been stopping shows for decades. This wasn't a publicity stunt or a quick photo op, it was an actual apprenticeship in old school showmanship. Joey was watching two of the greatest entertainers who ever lived work a crowd every single night. While other kid stars were doing mall appearances and local morning shows, Joey Lawrence was getting a masterclass in timing, presence, and stage magic.
Give my regards to Broadway. Remember me to Herald Square.
From absolute legends. Not a bad way to spend a summer break. Number 8, 2 theme songs, but 1 unmistakable voice.
Give me a break, I sure deserve it. It's time I made it to the top.
Gimme a Break had two different theme songs over its run, and both of them showcased Nell Carter's incredible voice in completely different ways.
Give me a break, the game is the Bible. Give me a break and plan my arrival.
The first version ran during the show's early seasons. It was smooth, soulful, and warm, classic early 80s. Nell's rich, powerful vocals set the tone before you even got to the first joke.
What happened to my piece of the cake? Give me a break.
The show had this great mix of chaos, comedy, and heart right from the start.
Give me a break. Give me a break.
But then season 3 rolled around and the theme song got a total makeover.
Give me a break. Now I know what it takes. I'm putting a new face on the old one.
The new version was faster, brighter, more upbeat, which is perfect for the mid-80s.
With fate, not a moment too late. Showing the whole world nothing can get me down.
It was all rhythm and attitude, and once again, Nell absolutely nailed it.
Give me a break. Yeah, yeah. Give me a break. 'Cause I sure need one.
Two completely different openings, but the same unmistakable voice. Whether she was going soulful or delivering a full-on powerhouse anthem, Nell Carter made sure you knew what you were getting into before the episode even started.
Yeah, I finally know where I belong. Give me a break.
Now we're going to take a quick pause for the cause before we keep rolling, because we need to know which episode of Gimme a Break still sticks with you. Tell us in the comments, and be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. Now let's get back into it. Number 7, Helen Hunt almost played Katie Kiniski. Here's a casting story that might surprise you. When Gimme a Break was looking for someone to play the eldest Kiniski daughter, Katie, Helen Hunt was in the running. At the time, Hunt was doing guest spots in TV movies building up her credits. She'd already appeared as a regular in the Swiss Family Robinson series, but she hadn't landed that big breakout role yet.
Well, aren't you Uncle Carl?
No, because it doesn't exist.
But my father says so, right in the law.
The producers liked her, but they went with Carey Michelson instead. She had the right chemistry with Nell Carter and the rest of the cast, so Helen Hunt came close but didn't make it into the Kiniski family. Of course, Helen Hunt did just fine anyway. She went on to become one of the biggest actresses of the 1990s, earning multiple Emmys for Mad About You and an Academy Award for As Good as It Gets.
It's very weird now, not feeling that stupid panic thing inside me all the time.
It's one of those interesting what-if moments in TV casting. Both actresses ended up exactly where they needed to be. Carey became part of a beloved sitcom family, and Helen Hunt became, well, Helen Hunt. Number 6, the NYC move that nobody asked for. By season 6, Gimme a Break had already lost Dolph Sweet. Season 5 stayed in Glenlawn with Nell stepping up as the matriarch, but NBC was getting nervous. The ratings were slipping and the network wanted to shake things up, so they decided to overhaul the entire show. When Gimme a Break came back in the fall of 1986, the 3 Kiniski daughters were gone. Katie's boutique business had failed, so she moved to San Francisco for new employment. Julie, her husband Jonathan, and their baby moved to San Jose after Jonathan landed a job working with computers in a chalk factory, and Samantha went off to a school in New Jersey. Behind the scenes, the 3 actresses, Carey Michelson, Lori Hendler, and Lara J. Miller, got blindsided. Hendler was especially devastated. She just bought a house when she got the news that she was being let go. Meanwhile, the show shifted its focus to Joey.
They run off to have a life of their own and dump you.
Well, you still got me, Aunt Nell. I'll never dump you.
Oh, I know that.
Oh, by the way, Brian Hyderman invited me to sleep over tonight. Is that okay?
His father, Tim Donovan, got a job in New York City, and Joey moved there to live with him. But Tim quickly realized he couldn't handle the 9-to-5 life. He wanted to go back to his job as a merchant seaman, so he asked Nell to assume guardianship of Joey. That's when Joey's younger brother Matthew showed up, played by Joey Lawrence's real-life brother, Matthew Lawrence. Nell took custody of both boys.
So whenever we start to miss each other, you'll look at that half of me and I'll look at the half of you, and we'll both know the other one is doing just fine. Please.
Grandpa Stanley sold the Kiniski house in Glenlawn and moved to New York too, settling into the same building as Nell. He remained a recurring character throughout the final season. Nell moved to the city with Joey and Matthew, and her best friend Addie came along. The show also brought in a brand new supporting cast. One of those new faces was a pre-talk show Rosie O'Donnell, making one of her first TV appearances. Samantha did return as a recurring character in some of the final episodes, giving longtime viewers at least one connection to the original family.
Oh, well, letting me come to college in New Jersey so that I could visit you in New York so that you could send me back to California for Christmas.
Okay.
The result was a completely different show. It was faster paced, set in the big city, and focused on Nell juggling work, friendship, and motherhood. NBC was hoping the shakeup would bring new life to the series, but it didn't work. Fans missed the original Kiniski household. By the end of season 6, NBC pulled the plug. The show tried to reinvent itself with fresh faces and new energy, but it couldn't recapture what made those early years so special. Number 5, John Hoyt, Grandpa Kiniski's secret Hollywood legacy. On Gimme a Break, John Hoyt played Grandpa Stanley Kiniski, the grumpy Polish immigrant who moved in with the family in season 3 and immediately made himself at home, being opinionated about everything.
Tell me more about the girl with the red, white, and blue hair.
Oh, that's not all. She also had a zipper tattooed on her face.
He'd clash with Nell, toss out insults at his son Carl, and generally act like the classic curmudgeon. Most people saw him as just another sitcom grandpa. They had no idea. Born in 1905, John Hoyt was Yale educated with both a bachelor's and master's degree, and before he ever stepped in front of a camera, he taught history at Groton School, one of the most elite prep schools in America. So yeah, Grandpa Kiniski could have probably helped you with your homework, but teaching wasn't his endgame. Hoyt made his Broadway debut in 1931 and eventually joined Orson Welles' Mercury Theater. He performed alongside some of the biggest names in theater, and his impression of Nell Carter was so spot on that it landed him a role in the original Broadway production of The Man Who Came to Dinner. After World War II, Hoyt moved to Hollywood and became one of those character actors you recognized instantly, even if you couldn't quite place where you'd seen him. He was the principal in Blackboard Jungle. He appeared in When Worlds Collide, Julius Caesar, Spartacus, and Cleopatra. He even played Dr. Philip Boyce in the Star Trek pilot.
Remember I told you I had 2 horses and we used to take some food and ride out all day?
Oh, that sounds exciting. You ride out with a picnic lunch every day.
I said that's one place I might go.
The ship's physician before Dr. McCoy showed up. And that's just scratching the surface. The Twilight Zone, The Munsters, Get Smart, The Outer Limits, Perry Mason, Battlestar Galactica. The man was everywhere. So when Gimme a Break premiered in 1981, John Hoyt wasn't just some retired actor grateful for a gig. He was a seasoned pro with 5 decades of experience under his belt, taking what amounted to a victory lap. He passed away in 1991 at 85 years old, leaving behind one of the most impressive resumes in Hollywood history. Number 4, from sitcom star to high-powered attorney. A lot of child stars either flame out or spend decades chasing their former glory. Laura Jill Miller, on the other hand, who played the youngest daughter Samantha Kiniski on Gimme a Break, did neither. After her time on the show, she walked away from Hollywood completely. She got a degree from NYU, graduated from Fordham University School of Law, and became a licensed attorney in New York City. Not just any attorney either. She passed the bar in 3 states of New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, and specialized in entertainment and intellectual property law. Turns out growing up in show business gives you a solid foundation for understanding how the industry actually works. But in 1999, after years of practicing law, Lara decided she missed performing. So she came back to entertainment, just not in the way anyone expected. She became a voice actor. One of her first major roles was Kari Kamaya in Digimon Adventure, which hit American TV in August of 1999.
It's all happening because he's looking for me, right? That's why Mom and Dad and everybody are...
Now don't say that. It's not your fault. It's just the way things are.
At the time, Lara was also working as a kindergarten teacher. Imagine being 5 years old and finding out your teacher is the voice of one of your favorite cartoon characters. Her students probably lost their minds. She kept going from there, voicing Juniper Lee in The Life and Times of Juniper Lee.
I've got 5 monkeys having conniptions all over my room at 80 miles an hour. Where's the mystery? Yeah, but you're the Tejuan Z.
And even landing the role of Snoopy in recent Peanut specials. Child star to lawyer to kindergarten teacher to voice acting pro, Laura Jill Miller didn't follow the expected path. She made her own. Number 3, Nell Carter's private health battles. On screen, Nell Carter was all energy and warmth. She was tough, funny, and full of life as she ran the Kiniski household on Gimme a Break.
Will you lighten up? He's a nice guy, and he runs a respectable place.
You've been there?
Once on wet t-shirt night.
But behind that powerhouse voice and quick wit, she was dealing with struggles most fans never knew about. Throughout the series, Nell was battling drug addiction, binge eating, and rapid weight fluctuations that made production difficult at times.
I did cocaine. The same kind that everyone else does in Hollywood.
Her cocaine use started during her Broadway run in Ain't Misbehavin', and the sudden fame from the sitcom only made things worse. At the height of her addiction, Nell later admitted she was spending up to $2,000 a day on drugs. She went to rehab multiple times during the show's run trying to break the cycle. The breaking point came in 1984 during a trip to London to visit her close friend Liza Minnelli. In a moment of despair, Nell tried to take her own life by overdosing on sleeping pills and champagne.
Because I had to break it.
That had to be hell.
I don't believe this.
Liza recognized how serious things were and immediately arranged for Nell to be flown to Hazelden Clinic in Minnesota, one of the country's leading addiction recovery centers. That's where things finally turned around. Nell got sober, lost over 90 pounds, and slowly started rebuilding her life and her health. Nell Carter was incredibly talented, but her story is also one of survival. She was fighting real battles while bringing joy to millions of viewers every week. That makes her work on Gimme a Break even more impressive. Number 2, the heartbreaking goodbye to Chief Kiniski. The death of Dolph Sweet, who played Chief Carl Kiniski, was one of the most emotional moments in Gimme a Break history, and it changed the show forever. Sweet had been quietly battling stomach cancer throughout season 4, continuing to work through his illness. He was determined to keep going for as long as he could. He passed away on May 8, 1985 at 64 years old, just 3 days before his final episode, Julie's Birthday, aired.
So we took your advice, Nell.
My advice?
And got married.
Is that Julie in there, Nell?
Before that episode, Nell Carter appeared in a pre-recorded segment to deliver a message to the audience about Sweet's death. It wasn't scripted, it was Nell speaking from the heart, honoring her co-star and friend on the same day she'd attended his funeral. When Gimme a Break returned for season 5, Chief Kiniski had died too. But instead of glossing over it, the premiere episode, Joey's Train, dealt with the family's grief head on.
What's going on?
Joey put his train in your father's room.
Joey, you shouldn't have done that.
Nobody uses Dad's room.
Why? You're just too young to understand.
The family kept the chief's bedroom as a shrine, too afraid to go in there until Grandpa finally broke the ice and made them face their grief.
Is this family crazy? I don't see anything to be smiling about.
Now hold on now. Just a minute. It's high time we stop pussyfooting around this house, never even mentioning his name. The best way to remember someone you love is to talk about them.
It was raw, honest, and real. That episode stands as one of the rare times an 80s sitcom confronted death directly instead of pretending everything was fine. It allowed viewers to grieve right alongside the cast. From that moment on, the show fundamentally changed. The original premise, with the dynamic between a widowed police chief and his outspoken housekeeper, was gone. Nell Carter stepped fully into the role of head of household, becoming both mother and father figure to the Kiniski kids and Joey. Gimme a Break transformed from an ensemble family comedy into a show centered entirely on Nell. Dolph Sweet's passing marked the end of Gimme a Break as audiences originally knew it. The show kept going, but Sweet's absence left a hole that couldn't be filled. Number 1, the abrupt end. No closure, no comfort, just cancellation. If you're hoping Gimme a Break ended with a big emotional series finale that tied everything together, sorry to disappoint. The show just stopped. NBC canceled it in May of 1987 after the retooled 6th season, and the final episode, Mama's Date, aired with zero indication that it would be the last time audiences would see Nell Harper or anyone else from the show. The plot of that final episode? Nell meddles in her mother's love life. No big revelations, no send-off, no montage showing where everyone ended up, just another regular storyline that could have aired any week.
Oh, hi, Mabel.
Hello, Stanley.
Oh, Ma, what'd you come on in?
I brought you the vaporizer. Oh. How is Addie feeling?
Oh, Ma, she couldn't be doing better. Just put that down. Why don't you just sit down?
When the credits rolled, fans assumed another season was coming. It wasn't. The cancellation came down to ratings. The move to New York City, losing the 3 Kaniski daughters and ditching the suburban family dynamic, had alienated longtime fans.
I mean, locking someone in the closet simply because they disagree with you is not the answer.
It wasn't an intelligent thing to do.
Get in the closet.
NBC just decided not to renew it. That meant no closure for Nell, Joey, Addie, or the new cast. There was no wedding, no reunion, no proper goodbye. The series just faded out, leaving its characters frozen in 1987, stuck in their Manhattan apartment waiting for a next episode that never came. For a show that once handled everything from family grief to addiction with real heart, Gimme a Break didn't get any of that in its own ending. It just stopped airing one day and that was it. And there you have it. That was 15 wild facts about Gimme a Break. If you love this trip back to Glenlawn, be sure to hit like and subscribe for more deep dives into retro TV shows. We drop new ones every single week, and until next time, just remember, this is Remember When.